Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to the 2016 Buy for the Kids Dinner Chefs for a Cure. I'm Paul Shapiro, co-founder and chairman of Buy for the Kids, and I'd like to begin tonight by thanking some very special people. First, Sue Anderson, our test announcer. Thank you, Sue. She's my amazingly talented business partner and co-founder of Buy for the Kids. Sue, I asked you to stand up. You're already standing. I thank you. Okay, seriously, Sue, thank you for everything that you do. Can you believe this is our 9th year of doing this? Yeah. Amy Dillon, where are you? Buy for the Kids founding member and our Chefs for a Cure event chairperson. Amy did a phenomenal job with this event. And with every event that she leads, Amy, we could not do this without you. Thank you. Our incredible Buy for the Kids chefs. That would be Chef Tyler Anderson, Chef Jason Simsbury, and the bear, Chef Jamie McDonald. How about these three of their teams? Thank you all for sharing your generosity, your commitment, and your talents with all of us tonight. And for all of these incredible people working behind the scenes, our Buy for the Kids committee members and volunteers, you are all so valuable to this mission, and it's inspiring to be on this journey together with all of you. I'd also like to thank Dr. Mike Isaacoff, the clinical director of the Connecticut Children's Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders, and one of the founding members of Buy for the Kids. Dr. Mike, thank you for being out there on the battlefield with us every day, and all that you do to help us come up with these breakthroughs that these kids so desperately need. In fact, Dr. Mike, if I could ask you to come up here with me. So we think that it's important for all of you to know that most of the money that we've raised so far, which has been about $1 million, it's gone in two areas. First area, supporting clinical trials at Connecticut Children so that we can find a cure. Second area, supporting patients and families in need so they can stay focused on a cure. That's our mission. That's what we're committed to do. And those two things. Let's talk first about clinical trials. So who knows what clinical trials are and why they're important? Okay. So, Dr. Mike, why don't you help us answer that question?
So, essentially, clinical trials are a way of testing new drugs or new ways of giving drugs to try and improve the prognosis for children with cancer. We have over 120 different clinical trials at our center that are both treatment studies and are collecting samples to share with our national cooperative groups so that we can learn more about how to treat cancers. It takes a lot of work to conduct these types of trials, and that work involves an infrastructure that works to collect data and support our systems so that we can provide these clinical trials. And just to give you some idea of the amount of work that we can put together for one patient, this is together here. I was going to see if we can show. The papers that you see here represent one patient enrolled in a clinical trial. And this is not their medical chart. This is not their day-to-day charting of care. This is data. It's data of how they're doing in their clinical care. But this is just one patient's volumes of paperwork that we need to collect. What do you need me to do? The amount of work here is, in one patient, can amount, depending on the trial, up to $50,000. And that's just can be a financial grind on any family. For example, if a family is traveling here for treatment, they may have to take time away from work. Maybe they can't afford a hotel room if they're traveling from very far away. Or if there are commuting costs like gas, parking charges at the hospital, we can help with that. Maybe in order to prioritize treatment costs and the time with their child, they could get behind on their utility bills or their mortgage, and we can help with that. Can you imagine, and some of you can, the relentless stress a cancer diagnosis may cause? Now, exacerbate that stress even more with the hardship of additional expenses, especially if there's no money coming in.
And since financial hardship can derail a family from pursuing a new treatment or even bankrupt them, we decided that this year, Buy for the Kids will establish an executive leadership team and a financial oversight committee. And moving forward, both teams will play a much bigger role in identifying very specific places where funding is needed to make a difference. I guess the other headline for this year is that Buy for the Kids is growing and is committed to doing more. And as we think about why, I guess the reason why is simple, and that's because there are kids who need our help. That's really how simple it is. Kids in our community, kids we know, kids that are in front of us right now, right? Kids like Eden and Lori and Morgan and Cam and Kelly and Jill and Maya and Aaron. Kids like Lauren, Hunter, and Kyla, who's sitting right in front of me right now. It's interesting, Kyla has become very close with Buy for the Kids. After all, she heads up the Buy for the Kids Team Leadership Committee. And frankly, Kyla has played a huge role in our growth. She spoke at the Buy for the Kids event 3 years ago. Some of you may remember. She has spoken as a cancer survivor and as a patient, again as a patient with recurrent cancer. And we have ridden the roller coaster with her. Along the way, Kyla has inspired so many of us with her strength, with her compassion, and with her friendship. And many of us in this room tonight have learned a lot from this girl. And I'd like to share an example of just how extraordinary she is. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. Actually, I asked her, so I know she doesn't mind. About a month ago, Kyla asked me what my schedule was like that week, and I was traveling a lot for work. And without thinking much, I said, I have to go to Dallas. You remember what your response was? She said, maybe you should reframe that. She told me, start replacing I have to with I get to, and see what that does. So let that advice sink in, this advice from my 19-year-old friend. Last week, Kyla stumped me again, this time by text, and I asked permission to share this story, and she was okay with it, so here goes. We were texting back and forth about her recent scans, and she asked me a very difficult question. She asked me, what if this is my last Buy for the Kids dinner? I didn't know what to say then, and I still don't know what to say. But I thought about it, and I know this much. We know that you didn't have to be here tonight, Kyla. You get to be here tonight. To share with us, to inspire us, and push us to all to work a little harder on every front so that more kids get to be here with us every year. like all our kids, you've been tested and you have proven your inner strength like no one that I personally have ever known. And truly, Kyla, we celebrate that you are here tonight with us.
Last year, I spoke about something that was very personal to me. I talked about some things that I keep in my coat pocket that remind me of patients that I've grown close to. And I talked about the emotional duality that I feel every day. Sadness and inspiration of watching each child fight for their life. And people often ask me how I can do this kind of work. How can I compartmentalize a job that's so emotionally challenging? And the truth is that I can't. And personally, I don't want to. It's what really fuels me. What I'm committed to, and what we're all committed to, is help all of our kids fight hard, rise up, beat the odds in any way possible. As simple as that. For me, it means giving children the best possible care that we can provide at Connecticut Children's. It means working tirelessly to improve their treatments through the use of clinical trials. Because I know that every inch of progress that has ever been made to fight cancer has come through clinical trials. And I couldn't do this on my own, of course. This takes a huge team of people at our hospital. And I just wanted to take a moment to ask those folks that work at the hospital with me, the doctors and nurses and advanced practitioners and other staff that are hiding in the room and don't necessarily like a lot of attention on them, to just raise their hand for a second so that we could just acknowledge the great work that you do.
So back to the commitment to our kids, the reason we're here tonight. If you're asking what we should do next, here's an idea inspired by Dr. Mike and his coat pocket of reminders. Now, I don't know if you remember what he talked about last year. Want to remind us?
Well, it's hard, not necessarily, but it wasn't the easiest speech I've ever given. But what I talked about was the fact that this beautiful sport jacket that you're seeing is the only one that I have. And because of that, it's what I wear to weddings and bat mitzvahs, but it's also what I wear to funerals. And I have a lot of obituaries and memorials that I had collected over years that, in preparing last year's speech, when I put on this coat and wondered why it was so padded and pulled them all out, it inspired the idea that I would talk about this. But it's not something I frequently will talk about in public, but I think worth, in this setting, having that reminder.
So really, this idea was inspired by that, and this coat pocket of reminders. We have committee members. We actually have a number of kids, our kids, that are positioned around this room and upstairs and downstairs. And they're going to come around and hand everybody in their immediate area a Buy for the Kids Chefs for a Cure commitment coin. So if we could pause just for a minute and make sure everybody gets one. So this is when, kids, this is when you give everybody their points. Everybody can actually move towards the coins, maybe. I don't understand. When we did this with 10 people in practice, we were able to do this. So, I'm not sure how you all use this coin, but I can tell you how I will. I'm going to use it as a reminder of this night. As a reminder of all the kids out there who are staring cancer in the face and battling with it, battling it with everything they have. And I'm going to ask you to keep this coin in your hand as you listen to our next special guest.
It gives all of us at Vi for the Kids a great pleasure to introduce you to a very special person. This woman is a key member of the Vi for the Kids leadership team and chairperson of the Vi for the Kids Rodney Briscoe Open. She is also a key member of our Cancer Family Advisory Board. And she is an incredible and committed mom who knows what it's like to stare cancer in the face. Please put your hands together and welcome Deb Miller.
Something that I hear now and again from friends, from people that I work with, and from people that I meet, is that they can't imagine what it must be like to have a child with cancer. Well, for me, I didn't have to imagine it. I lived it. And trying to imagine what it must be like is nothing compared to experiencing the real thing. So on a night like tonight, where we have come together to make a difference for these kids, for our kids, and for my kid. On a night like tonight, I would like to share Mom's journey with her son's battle with cancer. I should start by telling you it's a journey like no other. And the first thing that's important to realize is that it is a completely life-changing experience. I'm going to tell you this story so that God forbid it ever happens to you. You can get a small glimpse of what to expect. Just a glimpse. So here it goes. It all started with a complaint of pain. His knee is hurting. This complaint will not alarm you as he was 13 and growing at what seems to be an alarming rate. You'll blame it on growing pains, give him some Advil, and send him on his way. After 3 months and his insistence that something is wrong, you agree to take him to the walk-in clinic where an x-ray will be done. You'll find yourself looking at an x-ray and trying to comprehend what the doctor is telling you without going to the worst possible place in your head. As the doctor's pointing to the image, see this? He notes that my son's leg bone had some white smears on it. I nod, indicating him to continue with his show and tell. This is Hunter's tibia, and there's something growing on it and eating into his bone. Oh, I say, what does that mean? What is it? He warns, I'm not sure, but I want you to see an orthopedic doctor first thing tomorrow morning. The next several weeks will be a flurry of tests, CAT scans, MRIs, blood tests, x-rays, and finally a biopsy. Your son will be exhausted from all the tests and the countless hours in big, loud machines, which will scan every inch of his entire body, looking for more signs of the deadly disease attempting to take him over. You'll do your best to keep him going, still not letting yourself go to that place in your mind. When you hear the word cancer, you'll feel calm. It's as if you're suddenly transported somewhere else and you're living somebody else's life, so there's really no need to get hysterical. This isn't really happening to us, is it? You listen intensely to the doctor's report, somehow knowing you'll be playing an important role in this journey, and so you better pay attention to the game plan. It takes a few days for reality to set in. Things seem different. The phone doesn't stop beeping or ringing. Loved ones are sending kind messages of hope and support. Still, it's not real. Then you hear it. The cry of the pain from the biopsy surgery. The cry of frustration of not being able to walk without assistance. The cry of the fear of the unknown. Your child is suffering, and this is just the beginning of many battles to win the war. It's time for you to come into reality and prepare for the fight of your child's life. As you enter into your new reality, you'll feel the pain so palatable that you'll fall to your knees and cry, and cry, and cry. You cry until there's no more tears, and then you start to pray. You pray for strength. You pray for mercy. You'll pray for his life. And when you're done, you'll feel at peace. You'll know that the battles ahead are monumental, but somewhere, deep down, you now have the faith and the knowledge to know that everything will be okay. There'll be 3 months of chemotherapy, Dr. Isaacoff will explain. Once he completes that, he'll have a limb salvation surgery, at which time they'll replace his knee and his tibia with a tiny titanium prosthetic. We'll want to start him on the remaining 6 months of chemo as soon as possible after the surgery. The first 3 months will seem like an eternity. That's because the effects of the chemo will make your child so sick that that pink bucket becomes a fashion accessory for you. You never leave home without that pink bucket. The surgery will be over 8 hours and will cause him the most excruciating pain and discomfort. The effects of the chemo are causing his 17-inch wound not to heal, which in turn will make him vulnerable to infection, which, by the way, could kill him. Your anxiety will be at an all-time high for the next several months. With the surgery behind him, he starts the remaining 6 months of chemo while learning to walk again. At this point, the chemotherapy is literally kicking the life out of him. His hair is long gone. His mouth, throat, and GI tract is so filled with blisters and sores that even his saliva has to be sucked out of him. He is exhausted but cannot sleep. He's hungry but cannot eat. He's frustrated, anxious, and sad as he is missing his friends and wants his life back. He is only 13. You will watch him go through this hell for months, unable to take away his pain. You'll feel so helpless and useless that you'll want to crawl out of your skin. But you will remain brave and stoic for the sake of your child. Inside, however, you are completely falling apart and you want to scream. You'll become part of a club that nobody wants to be part of, but will become grateful, to feel grateful that you are. You will love the members and realize you're not alone in this frightful passage. There have been many before you who have walked with their child through this anguish, and sadly, there will be many more to come. You will suffer an indescribable pain when a child that you have come to know and love passes away. You'll remain strong to see your child through that loss. But inside, you're barely holding on, wondering, what if? The last day of chemo will come and go, and the 3-month scan will indicate no active cancer cells. But you will still hold your breath for every additional scan for the next 2 years. The cancer is gone, but we're still fighting the war. 3 years after his diagnosis, he will lose his leg to the disease that threatened to take his life. The disease that took his friend Robbie, and just a week ago took his father. Although there were battles lost, my son won the war, thank God. Other kids have not been so fortunate. That's why we are all here tonight. Because it is totally unacceptable for cancer to do this to our kids. There are so many children that need treatment that does not exist. There are so many children who will lose their lives because of this, and it is totally unacceptable. Only 4% of cancer research funding goes towards pediatric cancer. So we have to take matters into our own hands and raise money for clinical trials. Again, that's why you are here, and that's why I'm here. Thank you for listening to my story.
One thing I do want to share with you about Deb is we just had, she mentioned Robbie, and Robbie was someone who passed away around this time last year. And Hunter wanted to do something special for his friend Robbie, and Deb and him, along with an amazing team in August, did the Robbie Briscoe Golf Golden Tournament. It raised net, not gross, net, $60,000. First year tournament. We had people who attended that said they have, one, never been to a tournament that was so well run, and it was the first year. So when I tell you I love that woman and her son, I do. Oh gosh, you talk about a tough act to follow. That's a very appropriate comment here. Mother Teresa once said, there's nothing more calming in difficult moments than someone who is there with you fighting. And when I think about the power of what Vie for the Kids is all about, it is not two people. It's not a handful of people. It is really a family, it's a team, it's an army, it's a village. Standing beside and fighting with our children and young adults who are battling this horrible disease. And so I feel very honored that I can stand up here and recognize and acknowledge and thank the people that make an evening like this possible. First of all, I want you to just look around. Look around the room, right? Look at your neighbors. I know this is not a shy crowd. There is a truckload of love and commitment in this room. I mean, so much so that it's overwhelming. And my first thank you goes to all of you for being here. I see new faces, so I say welcome to the Vie for the Kids family. We're so glad to have you here. I see returning faces, many of them, some who have been with us since we did our first dinner 9 years ago, right? Jill Burrell, Mark, Yvette, her son Aaron was our first speaker ever. That's what it takes. It takes people like you coming to these events to help us continue for an incredible, incredible effort. I also want to do a big shout out to Carrie Johnson, who did an amazing job, if you were here earlier, for the music. Carrie, where are you? She's short like me, so she probably has her hand up and we can't see her. I also want to thank our paparazzi for donating their talents tonight. Our wonderful photographers, Melissa Richards and Melissa Arell, if you could put your hands up right there. There they are right in front of us. I want to thank our major sponsors, Hospital for Special Surgery, Tokyo Marine HCC, Mag Ventures, Global Atlantic Financial, Pounds, which, by the way, said there's rumor that they're going to take us through a 3-mile run through the streets of Simsbury to wear off some of these calories that we all built up by eating all this wonderful food. We've got William B. Meyer. We have Friends of Vi for the Kids. We have Hylas Crusaders. We have the Eder Foundation and the Rainbow Foundation, all of our major sponsors. Let's give them some incredible applause. Now, I know that Paul already gave a little shout out to the chefs, but we like to call them the trifecta of culinary perfection, right? Our first chef, Jamie McDonald, new to Vi for the Kids. We're so glad you're part of our team now. It's kind of like the bond with Jamie. Once you're in the family, you are never leaving, my friend. And what's cool about Jamie, you may not know, is that he is a professional competitive eater and a bodybuilder. So he can eat and look darn good while he's doing it. He's also the chef and owner of Bear's Smokehouse, which many of you know and have frequented. It's an awesome restaurant. He's also the co-owner and chef, along with Tyler Anderson, for a newer restaurant, The Cook and the Bear, which if you haven't been there yet, you gotta go. And so, once again, thank you, Jamie. And speaking of Tyler Anderson, is this not an amazing place to have Vi for the Kids? Tyler, thank you once again. Thank you so much for closing your restaurant down tonight. Can you imagine that? That's like the busiest day for restaurants. And Tyler and his team closed this down so that they can sponsor and host the Vi for the Kids event. And we so greatly appreciate it. Another multi-talented chef. And then our final chef has a special place in our hearts, Paul and I, because he has been with us since the very first dinner 9 years ago. This is a person that if he ever decides to give up his food career, which we know he won't, he would be great as a stand-up comedian, because in prior events, if you've been here, you know how darn funny this guy is. So a big shout out to the owner and chef of Casius, The Ordinary, and the Black Hog Brewery, Jason Sobosinski. Now, Paul talked about our committee, and he gave a big shout out to Amy Dillon. Amy not only helps with this event, she's helping with another event, which I'll talk about in a minute, for next week, but she did Nate's Junior Warrior Run in June, which really kicked butt. Like 300 people participated in that first-time event. Amy, great job. We love you. We love you. And the rest of the team, standing right next to her, Roseanne O'Hara. Audrey Carson, where are you, girl? I know you're here. Tyler Carponi, right here. And Deb and Hunter Miller. Thank you so much for being part of our spectacular Vi for the Kids dinner. And also, I want to recognize our Connecticut Children's Medical Center Foundation team. They're here tonight, and I want to make sure we give a big shout out to them. Robin Vittido, Summer Spellman, Kurt Knox, who's not here because he's doing other events, and Caitlin Kadecki. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And now, before I welcome up the final presenter who will take us through the rest of the program, I want to just talk about a couple of things that are going on. One, we have our Bids for the Kids online auction that is taking place through the entire month of September to coincide with Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. And so make sure that you get on that site and you bid and you share. We got lots of great items. Anywhere from a South Beach condo, beautiful vacation home, to ski homes, to baskets filled with goodies, to restaurant, certificates, the whole 9 yards. Another way that we're making a difference here with Buy for the Kids. And then next week we have our 6K trail run at the beautiful Ethel Walker Woods. That starts at 9:30 for the runners, but we have a 9:15 start for our fun run for the kiddies, and there's lots of fun activities there. The way you find out about both, one, there's stuff all over the room. Go to buyforthekids.org, click on the buttons, take ship. Everywhere it's pretty easy. So once again, we appreciate everybody's support with that. Now let me get to our final presenter. I'm delighted to introduce this person. He and his lovely wife, Deirdre, have been wonderful friends and supporters of Buy for the Kids for a long time. This person has over 30 years in the broadcast industry, and when you look at him, I just don't know how, because he looks so darn young. I just wonder what he's doing. He is one of ESPN's longest tenured anchors, having started there in 1997, and he is currently the co-host for the 12 noon weekday Sports Center program. I am thrilled to welcome up David Lloyd.
By the way, I started my career when I was 8 years old. So that's 30 years in. Thank you for that, Sue. As you guys heard Deb talking about, she's part of a club that no one wants to be involved in. I'm in the same boat as Deb. My little girl Eden has a brain tumor, and she's been under Dr. Eisenhoff's care for the last 4.5 years. So this is personal to me. It means a lot to me to see all of you here. As you can tell, it's not a happy-go-lucky, fun Saturday night. In some ways, it's serious, it's important for you guys to give up your Saturday nights to be here with us, to spend the money to be here. I appreciate it. We're honored by it. I thank you. If you have it in your hearts to even give more, there are donation cards on tables where you can fill out whatever you might want to give extra. But you guys have done so much, so thank you for that. So now it's sort of, this gets a little fun now. We can all take a breath. Can everyone raise their right hand? I'm not going to make you pledge of allegiance. If everyone raises their right hand up right about here. Okay, you all have the physical ability to bid on auction. I want to get that out right now. Don't be shy in this part of the program. Okay, so here's what we're doing. It's one item. You only have one shot to win. We're pairing 3 separate dinners for 8 to some of the great restaurants in all of Connecticut. One of them right here is Millwrights. Where's Sobosinski? Where is Sobosinski? We need him up here as well. Here he comes. He's making his way. So, 3 dinners for 8 people. If you have a graduation or an anniversary or a birthday or any special occasion, this is a beautiful way to fill in that dance card. With your social calendar set for the next 6 months, you got 3 great dinners at 3 unbelievable restaurants. And we've got the culinary savants here with us, our 3 celebrity chefs. And I would mangle the actual menu and what you're going to get out of the experience. So I'm going to hand off the microphone to our chefs and let them brag on what you're going to get when you bid on just 1/3 of this, each one of their restaurants. Tyler, you go first, buddy.
Hello. Welcome to Millwrights.
So instead of like having a contest where it's I don't know, each person does their own restaurant individually, we decided to put together a little package. A huge package. Huge package. So what this includes is 8, you and 7 of your closest friends, totally 8 people. No more, please. Unless you go regular with us, we'll probably let you have more. At one of each of our restaurants. So 8 here at Millwrights, 8 at Casius, 8 at Cook of the Bear, which you probably haven't been to yet because I haven't been there yet. But within weeks, Jamie and I are opening a restaurant, like a Chevy barbecue restaurant called Cook of the Bear at Blue X Square, West Hartford. Come join us.
And you are also privy to some pretty big news. The three of us are opening a restaurant together in New Haven. So it's going to be a Cook in the Bear with a brewery that's Black Hog. So Jason, myself, Jamie, and then the beautiful AJ Aricchio, who nobody ever knows or hears about because he's like a phantom in the night. We'll be partners in. So we're also including, we're going to throw in a top to that before the restaurant is even open. So you'll be the first people to ever eat in that restaurant, and that restaurant's going to be fantastic. It's like the one I'm most excited about. Also, after eating at that restaurant, you'll get to eat at you'll get to go drink at my favorite bar in the state with Tim at Ordinary afterwards for cocktails. So this is 4 dinners for 8 people with cocktails for 8 people or however many you want.
It's great speech.
Yeah. Jason, say something. Jason, be funny, Jason. Be funny.
This is an epic thing. So I think the bidding should start at $40,000 or slightly lower. Is there anyone interested in this at all? Anyone? Yeah. 7 days for 8 people across the state of Connecticut.
You don't have to buy groceries for the whole year.
Make sure you bring your friends, not your family.
Alright, so what do we do now?
Yeah, give it to me.
Oh.
So now it's, see, I thought it was only 3 dinners for 8, but you we've also now it's 4 dinners for 8 people. This will carry you for a good long time. And what do you think we should start the opening bid at? This is at 4 dinners.
3,000. 3,000 here. Just so I don't
If
have
we
to.
have a $3,000 bid, we'll hear it right now. Do we have a 3,000?
3,000.
Oh, here we go. Hello. We got 3,000. Do we hear 31? Do we hear 31? 31 right there to the man in the beard. How about $3,300? $3,300 for 4 dinners at 4 of the. Thank you very much. We got 33. Don't forget the cocktails. And I think the chefs will drink tequila with you. Isn't that what you guys said? Yes.
All night long.
All night long. I'm not sure if that helps or hurts the cause. But anyway, we're at 3,300. Do I hear 3,500? 3,500 for the 4. There's 35. 3,600. Do I hear 3,600? We got a good bidding war going on over here. Where's? Thank you very much. There's 36, 37. Right back to you. What's your name, sir?
David.
That's my name too. David's going for $4,000. 4 big, 4 large. How about 4,100? Who wants to come up over the top on David? 4,100. Where's the guy in the beard? 4,200. 42. We're going good. How about 43, David? 43? 45. 4,500. How about 46? We're getting up there now. 46. 4,600. 4 meals. 4,600. 4,700. Where's my 47? Where's my man in the beard? $4,700. We're getting close. Who wants to just be a hero and get $5,000? Come on.
So much tequila.
So much tequila. $5,000. How about $5,000 for 4 meals? 32 people involved. Do I hear 5,000? Do I hear 5? You're thinking about it. You're thinking to kill you, but it might be worth it. 5,000? 5,000! That's what I'm talking about. $5,000. All right, who wants to get up over on that? David, 51.
No, you already paid me to get them up high.
I'll keep you here. Sir, 5,100? Yes, 5,100. All right, we got a 3-way trifecta here. Who's going to come up across the bearded man? Hello, how are you? What would you like to pay? You're here? 5,500. Spirited auction. I like it. Just when you thought you knew who the principals were. This lady comes in for $5,500. David is mulling with his financial advisors. The bear man is giving me this.
Yeah.
56. Your husband was going to kill you for 5. 56? I think you. All right, I heard. That's the thing. She just stole in here for 5,500. No. Is that your high? 5,600.
I do.
Oh no. 5,600. Do we hear 56? 5,500 going once. 56. The drama. The sense of theater.
Come on now.
All right, we got 56. 57. All right. 58. The ball game. $5,800. How about 59? We're going to get to 6. I don't know who wants to be the person to get to 6. Can I hear 59? 59. Would you like to come back over the top with $6,000? Yes, you would.
Wow.
We got $6,000. You got more up there? 61.
They say no.
They say they're cutting you off?
Yeah.
They're cutting you off? 61. We can see you up there. You want 61? There's a whole block of people thinking about it. They're thinking about it. All right. 6,000 is a nice round number.
All right, 61.
61. A better number. I like that number more. 6,100. Has everyone else given up? David, are you involved? Are you involved? No, David's out. We appreciate your. The beer game's out. Hold on. Oh, we got some. We got an offer.
Oh boy.
This is you couldn't script this. Here's the deal. The chefs have gotten together. They have decided they will give each of you 4 dinners for 34 people for $6,000 if you're interested. You're already getting committed for 6. If you get 6, that's $12,000 to buy for the kids.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
So folks, that wraps our evening. We want to let you know that we are here until 10 o'clock for the next hour. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everybody.
We look forward to it.
Wow. That's what I thought. Because I work with them on an RBO tournament, and one of the employees